Hey, look who we've got coming in here right now, Danny Hinote.
Danny Hinote rolls in.
Here,
Danny, you stand in front of us because we need somebody to block some shots for us here. Danny, explain what we're going after here in this drill.
Well, it's just quick puck movement. It's being able to make plays, move your feet. See, the idea is your two partners that are able to skate, they're not allowed to pass to each other. So the idea is you can't just stand in one place. You have to be able to pass to your partner and then move, because otherwise you get a little 2-on-2 in the middle. They just pass to each other. They don't move a whole lot. But in this case, they're forced to make a pass and then move their feet.
Yeah. Cam Atkinson got the wrong guy. He was trying to move it to him, then realized that was the fact. But it does. What it does, it forces you to think a little bit.
Exactly.
Where are your two outlets? What can you use to be able to create your own offense?
Yep, and that's the key. It's what we're trying to read in these kids is who's able to make these plays at high speed while thinking, while doing the right things. And it's not an easy concept to grasp. You know, even in the NHL. This would be a tough drill for them. So it's good for us to notice these little nuances of the game.
Danny, talk about the week, if you would, and what you're looking for as a Blue Jackets head coach, not a Springfield coach, but as a Blue Jackets head coach, what you're looking at in terms of these guys and what their future with the organization may be a year or two down the road.
Well, from a coaching perspective, obviously the on-ice talent's one thing, but I think what we try and find are the little things that you wouldn't necessarily catch on video. So the leadership qualities, the commitment to detail, the hard work, the work ethic, how they do in their testing. These little things that you can get a grasp on a little bit easier at a place like this versus watching some video of their junior game or their college game or even their games in the minors. So it's a good opportunity to pick up on the little stuff that you can't necessarily pick up on paper.
Things that don't show up in the stats necessarily. Well, he scores a lot of goals, he gets a lot of PIMs, whatever. This is more character type things, right?
If you know what to look for, and it's the intangibles that will help you win in the future. It's not necessarily the most skilled guy that makes a team. Sometimes it's the right guy, and sometimes that's the guy with the most character. So you have to figure out who's who.
The one element throughout the camp, and I've reiterated it to not only Dave, but also to Craig Patrick, as an outsider looking in, the word fun is in everything that the guys are doing. It's hard work, but there's a purpose, and the reason you go on the ice, you got to have fun, and you can certainly see that this week.
Yeah, you know what? I guess there's two schools that you can look at. There's the old school where you used to come into rookie camp and fight and you ended up hating half the guys, and then there's the new school where you realize in today's NHL you're gonna play with a lot of these guys, whether it be in the AHL or the NHL. But these are guys that are going to be your brothers someday, so you don't want to have that bad blood when 2 years from now you could be on the same line together. And so you try and create as much as you can some chemistry between these young kids that you're going to need to help you win a championship someday. And that's what I think is really done well here. Is these guys have had a great time. They've worked their tails off, and I think they got a little taste of what it takes to make it. But in the end, they're going to go home with some new brothers.
Give a little bit of an idea off ice what some of these guys are doing. We've mentioned a couple of things, but kind of go down the list daily and what some of these guys are doing besides the on ice stuff.
Well, I mean, it's the off ice workouts are just as hard, if not harder, than anything they're doing on the ice. And I think that's a big part of what it takes nowadays to make it in the NHL. So as far as details, they were pushing sleds this morning. They were the team building stuff they did the other day. They're lifting 200-300 pounds of tires, dragging them down trails over trees.
That's under the jurisdiction of fun, right?
Yeah, no, that's all. It's all in good fun. As is the concussion and the bruises they have on their bodies. But yeah, that's the off ice is what's really changed, if you ask me, within the last 15 years in hockey. And that's kind of the new age. So we're trying to break these kids in, let them know, listen, I know you think you're working hard, but now come and see what it's really like to work hard in the NHL. And
Danny,
it's an eye-opener sometimes.
I want to get your impressions on Ryan Murray, the #1 pick. What do you like out of him so far?
You know what? He's a tank. He's built really solid. I think on ice you'll hear Ray Bourque comparisons, but his legs look like Ray Bourque's legs, and that's a good sign. I really like. I know he's a good kid, so on and so forth. Everything you've heard in that department, but he's very confident in his puck moving ability, and that's sometimes you'll watch a guy pass and you can tell when it leaves his stick that he's not quite sure, and sometimes the puck leaves the stick with somebody that is a good passer, and it has a direct flight to a piece of tape versus an area, and that's what I see with him, both backhand, forehand, under pressure, open ice. All of his passes, all of his decisions are made with the head up, and he knows exactly where it's going. So That to me is what's really impressive.
He strikes me as a guy who's unflappable. I mean, right from the moment he was drafted, I spent a lot of time with him, Billy, and he doesn't seem to be overexcited by too much, you know?
Yeah, and that's a big boon for a young defenseman to have, because things are not going to go your way when no matter where he plays next year, you're going to have bad bounces. That's just the name of the game. So it's how you can control success and failure. And so if you can fail, recover, and make a good play, then obviously that's what a good pro does, and he seems to have that quality.
And in conclusion with the camp, what does it look like? Do you guys sit down now and talk with each one of these players and kind of say, hey, listen, had a chance to watch it for the week, here's a couple of things that come to mind, and send them on their way in a positive but also an evaluation like atmosphere, so that they know what they're getting themselves into?
Yeah, that's a big part of it, is letting them know, listen, you know what, here's what you did in camp, here's what we liked, here's what you can do better. And it's a little bit, they're a little bit lucky, because going into main camp, they'll have this to look back on and say, okay, I remember how rookie camp was, I know this is going to be even worse, so I got to do some things for the rest of this summer to get myself prepared for that.
All right, Danny. Thanks for the insight, buddy. Kind of makes you wish you were a rookie again, doesn't it?
Oh, I don't miss this in the least.
There weren't many of these when you were going through it, though, was it?
I was probably the beginning, and I had Bob Hartley was the coach, and Lars can attest, because he was there. We did 4, which is a little bit too many, really, because that's how you know you're a grinder, when they invite you to 4.
There you go.
And then there was a lot of fighting, and there was a lot of it was dirty. It was dirty camps, and it was tough, but I don't miss it. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Much.
Yeah, you still got the face for TV, I'm telling you that, Danny.
Yeah, in the dark, maybe.
Thanks again,
Danny
bud.
Hinote, assistant coach for the Jackets. Thanks for your time.